Well, welcome to the January episode of From the Helm with MarineMax. We're excited to have you all join us for the new year. I'm Amanda.
I'm Kelly.
So as we get started with the new year, we're going to have a great show today.
Oh yeah.
So as we get going, make sure to ask us your questions, put your comments, share what you're thinking about what we're talking about. We want to hear from you. We have some great topics for today.
Yeah.
The first is 5 tips so you can have the best boat show experience yet. It's going to be a really good one, so make sure to stay tuned for that, just a few minutes.
Definitely.
And one of my other favorites, we're going to talk about different ideas for what you can do for boating this year. So you can have an exciting boating year, try some new things.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's always different ways of boating and different opportunities to get out on the water.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good show, so stay tuned, chat with us, share your questions, and also have to let you know that since it's January, it's a new year, we're starting off strong. We have a second episode for you next week on Friday, January 11th. And what's that show going to be, Kelly?
Very excited about that one. Federico Ferrante, the president of Azimut Yachts USA, is going to be on with us. We're actually going to be at the Pompano Yacht Center, so the other side of Florida, in beautiful, sunny Pompano Beach, and we're going to be talking all things Azimut with Federico Ferrante. So if you guys have any questions for Federico, be sure to leave them in the comments, and we'll kind of talk to him and answer any questions that you may have. We're going to be going through all things Grande, Magellano, Flybridge, I mean S-Class, you name it, everything.
All of it.
So
I think we're even going to be aboard an Azimut, right?
We are. So once we get on board, let us know which one you think we're aboard, and we're pretty excited. It's always a good day when you get aboard an Azimut.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, let's get started to our first topic. And tell us, Kelly, what are the tips for going to a boat show?
Okay, well, we've been to a few boat shows, right? I mean, in our
just
lifetime.
A couple. You might have seen us.
And, boat shows are a crazy time. I mean, there's a lot going on. Depending on where you're at, it might be very warm, very cold, raining, sunny. So
inside, outside.
There's a lot of things to think about. And sometimes you're inside and then have to go outside. So we kind of want to talk a little bit about some of the things that you should know before going to your next boat show. And one of those things is charting your course. So a lot of times people get to a show and they're like, okay, so where do I go to see Azimut? Where do I go to see Sea Ray? And what's really opportune is you can actually chart your course before going, so once you get there, you know exactly where you're going.
Yeah, for sure. Most of the websites for boat shows have a map on there and show you where the different boat manufacturers or boat displays or dealers are, so you can plan ahead. It makes it a lot easier.
Definitely, and even though sometimes you're like, okay, I'm going to be going to E7 or something like that, that might sound good in theory, but once you get to the show, it's a little bit more complex. So reach out to your MarineMax team members too. That's always a good thing. Kind of talk to the team members that you've been working with, and they'll help you kind of tell you exactly where to go.
Well, yeah, and I think that's a great lead into the next tip, which is we always recommend and suggest make an appointment with us. Reach out to your local MarineMax, your local salesperson, and schedule time with them for one-on-one time so you can make sure they can take you through the models that you're interested in and really go in depth. It's a great way to have that personal experience at a boat show and also skip some of the lines as well.
Oh yeah, well, and I think when you're making an appointment too, you get that personalized experience as opposed to a lot of times you get to a show, you see a boat, you hop on, you're kind of trying to get across other people. This time, if you make an appointment, a lot of the times they'll be able to kind of go one-on-one with you and work with you to show you the boat. Yeah,
it's really great, especially if you have a couple different boats that you're wanting to make sure to go in depth and really get to know and crawl around on and ask questions and check out the engine, all those things.
Yeah, and I am going to jump one ahead right now because you just said something that's very important, is explore the entire boat. I mean, this is your opportunity to get on this boat and explore it from, from bow to stern. You can go through the entire thing, go on the flybridge, you can go in the staterooms, check out the galley, so many things. And one thing I definitely recommend, and something that Federico always talks about when we do videos with him, is check out the engine room. I mean, there's a lot of the time some of these larger boats, you get to actually go inside the engine room and see all this, how it works and what makes it run, and it's fascinating. Yeah,
well, and there's just so many more features and amenities and things that keep being added to boats as technology improves, so does what is on the boat. So it's a great opportunity to see what those different things are that you might not have noticed in a first glance.
Definitely. It's really cool. It's a great opportunity to check these boats out, in person, up close. One other thing we kind of talked about it already is dressing for the weather.
Yeah.
So I know sometimes it's kind of difficult, but always be sure to dress for the weather. Hot or cold, indoors or outdoors, there's always something that's going to be changing. So be sure if you kind of check the forecast beforehand, it's going to be crazy sunny or something, be sure to wear some clothes that are gonna be, you know, covered, because you don't want to get too much sunburn, but at the same time is cool enough so you're not sweating.
And for those up in the north, it's about layers, right? Being able to come in from the cold and take off some of the layers and cool down, and you're going to be in a warm room. And of course, my big thing with boat shows is make sure to have comfortable shoes. There's a lot of walking. You got a lot of ground to cover to see all those boats, because hopefully your local show or whichever show you go to has a full selection, and that's a lot of space. And so comfortable shoes are a must.
They're definitely a must at a boat show, because you're going to be walking, and definitely if you got one of the Apple Watches or something like that where you can track your steps, I mean, it's pretty cool how many steps you get at a boat show.
Yeah, for sure. And then lastly, what's our last tip for them?
So our last tip is to get to know the dealer. You know, this is your opportunity to speak with the experts from the dealer side, also the manufacturers. I mean, this is really cool because you can actually sit there and talk with the people that, you know, that sell the boats, that know a lot about the boats, but also from the manufacturers themselves. Federico Ferrante, every time I've gone to the, you know, the Azimut booth, he's there walking around, talking to people, and this is your opportunity to talk to people like that really know these boats and these brands.
And people who are behind the building of them, you know, the design, the building, that, you know, who are, you know, even on the dealer side, our sales team is they're going to the factory and learning about these boats and providing feedback as well. So
yeah, so it's a great combination, and you know, just the amount of knowledge sitting at a boat show and all these people just knowing so much about these different models. It's better than the internet sometimes, right?
Well, yes, for sure. And it also gives you a peek into what life is going to be like after the boat purchase, after the boat show. Getting to know what type of events and classes your dealer offers. That's very important.
It's very cool. So be sure to leave some comments if you guys have any questions about boat shows. We'll answer them, and of course we'll be answering them next week too with Federico. And Miami Boat Show's coming up pretty quick, so he'll be there, we'll be there, and we'll be bringing you everything you need to know about the latest models at the Miami Boat Show.
Yes, and one thing to note for the Miami Boat Show, that's a great thing to bring up. So it is February 14th to 18th, but there's 2 shows in Miami on that same weekend. So you have Miami International Boat Show, which is at Virginia Key, and the Miami Yacht Show, which is where Azimut's at, as well as other brands like Galleon Yachts and Ocean Alexander, but that is in a new location. So that is now going to be in downtown Miami instead of Collins Avenue. So don't be showing up at Collins Ave wondering where the yachts are, because they won't be there.
I'm sure there'll be some yachts there, but
probably a few, but not the ones that we're trying to show you, the newest models.
Yep, definitely. And we do have some other upcoming boat shows. I mean, we're in the midst of boat show season. The New York Boat Show's coming up, so January 23rd through the 27th is the New York Boat Show. Always a really good show, tons of cool things to see at that show, and it's indoors, so you know the only thing you really have to worry about is maybe having a jacket and carrying it while you're there or something.
Indoors, you're in New York City, and also to note, it's the debut of Galleon Yachts in New York.
Yes.
So they're going to have a booth there, so go check it out.
Very exciting. Also, Minneapolis Boat Show is coming up the 24th through the 27th, so be sure to check out the Minneapolis Boat Show and the Mid-Atlantic Boat Show as well at the 25th through the 27th. So a lot of boat shows going on, a ton of things, depending on where you are in the country or the world. There's a lot of boat shows coming up for you, so be sure to check those out. And check out MarineMax.com, where we kind of talk about, we have a whole list of all the boat shows that are going on for you guys to check out.
We do. And with 63 stores, I think there's 2 or 3 boat shows going on each weekend, so check out the full list online.
The fun never stops. So, Amanda, we have some cool things. Some sneak peeks and things like that, right?
So our Lifestyles magazine comes out twice a year. So we have a summer edition and a spring edition. So coming out in the next week or 2 is our spring edition of our Lifestyles magazine. Kelly's gonna unveil for us the cover, so everybody close your eyes and get ready. On the count of 3, we'll open them.
I wish we had like a drum roll or something like that, but here is the cover for the all-new Lifestyles magazine with MarineMax. So very cool cover. Shout out to the whole design team and everybody that put this one together, and we're really excited about this one.
It is super exciting, so look for it at your upcoming boat shows. Your local store will have it soon as well, and it'll be showing up in some mailboxes too. So make sure to check that out. We have some great customer stories. We have one from a family in Texas where the children and now the grandchildren have grown up boating, and so it just keeps passing down. We have some great recipes for on the boat, and of course we also have the new models for 2019. Some great in-depth tours and previews of
Very
those.
exciting. Tons of new things coming out.
Yeah, and so in other news, just some industry news to share with everyone. We're excited to share that the Modern Fish Act was signed by President Trump on December 31st. But for those people who are really into fishing, what that means is that we are getting more access to recreational saltwater fishing while still ensuring conservation and sustainability. So more to learn about that. There's really a lot of in-depth information about that if you go online with the link that's in the comments.
Yep.
But really it's about making it easier for us recreational fishers to get out there while still maintaining that we're keeping the fish safe and the supply of fish good.
Yeah, it's kind of keeping the commercial and the pleasure fishing separate, right?
Yeah, so it's really exciting and news for fishing men and women.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of fishing, but I feel like, I should do some more.
Oh yeah, well, hey, maybe that could be one of your goals for 2019. Get out and do a little bit more fishing.
There we go. That could be it. Okay.
Cool.
And then one other piece of news is that Mercury Marine is celebrating their 80th year here in January of 2019. So 80 years ago, they were started with the purchase of a bankrupt engine manufacturer, and now they are a leading global manufacturer of engines, marine propulsion systems, with over 7,000 employees.
Yeah, and the president actually had a statement saying 2019 will be yet another exciting year with more innovations to introduce. I mean, Mercury Marine, there's always a ton of innovations coming out from these the manufacturers of the motors and the engines, and exciting to see what's coming up.
It's definitely super exciting. So for more information on that, the Fish Act, and everything in general, check out the links in the comment section. We are posting those as we go along. And also don't forget to ask your question or share what you're thinking about what we're talking about, or anything else boating related, or anything.
Live, not live, it's up to you. I mean, if you want to leave a comment, have a question, or if you have some more topics that you want to see some stuff coming up in the next episodes, be sure to leave some comments to, hey, we want to see this or we want to see that, and we'll add it to our list and talk about it, because that's what you're looking for. We did want to talk about something it's the new year, right? So 2019, pretty exciting.
To set goals in the new year.
Goal setting is one of the main things we're working on, and one of the things is a bucket list. I know this has been kind of an exciting thing for a lot of people, is things you want to do in your lifetime. So what we're doing is the boating bucket list. So we're talking about all things boating, and what do you want to do in your lifetime. I know there's a few that I wanted to do, including new boating destinations. I want to travel to more lakes. I want to get on more lakes, and in Minnesota and Wisconsin. And it's crazy. I'm from the north, but at the same time, getting out on the lake, it's you can only do it half the year unless you're ice fishing, and there's so many beautiful lakes up in the north and around the world, around the country. So checking those out. The rivers, of course, Georgia, Tennessee. There's so many cool places in these areas to go boating.
Well, I was just reading earlier today about our Orlando store does the River Ranch getaway, where they go down from Orlando and use the lock system in the rivers there to get down to the middle of the state to River Ranch and have a great trip. Yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, the amount of access you can get to in Florida, it's very cool. So there's so many different places to go boating, so it's really exciting.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
If you need an idea on what to comment, what's your favorite place to go boating?
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
Yeah. Where are you going to be going in either 2019 or the future? I mean, the possibilities are endless, right?
So no excuse not to be commenting, and don't forget we give away prizes for comments too.
Cool. We did have a few team members actually that are boaters, and they said, Evan said he wants to do more fishing, and he definitely wants to try tubing. Tubing is a ton of fun, right?
It is. I like tubing. It doesn't require too much skill.
You sit and
How
you go.
well can you hold on, right?
Yeah, that's true. The skill is holding on. It's kind of like a ride. And Bob also said he wants to do an Alaskan fishing trip, which there's a lot of boating opportunities even up in Alaska too, both on the rivers and the ocean. I mean, so many different opportunities to go fishing.
For sure. Okay, so what's on your list?
Well, again, I want to do some more boating destinations of lakes, rivers, and I also want to check out some of the really exotic locations to go boating. Seychelles in kind of the Indian Ocean is one of my main spots. There's a lot of beautiful water there. I don't know if it's British Virgin Islands-esque because that's some of the most beautiful spots in the world, but also in Indonesia, some big fish out there, some giant trevally and fish like that we always want to catch. So
Well, so if you're like Kel and you're really wanting to get out there and go to new places and new countries, check out our MarineMax private yacht charters on MarineMaxYachts.com. That's a way to get out there and go boating and yachting, really, in places that you've never been. It's amazing.
Throughout the world.
Yeah, fantastic.
Awesome.
Okay, so now let's take a moment because we know you've all asked a question or put a comment in. So Sarah's going to jump in and just thank everyone and recognize who's on.
Yes, so we have Bob K, Stephanie T, Edward W, and Jennifer M all tuning in right now. Thank you all so much.
Hello, everybody. How you
Appreciate your
doing?
time. Yeah, thank you for joining. And so we also want to recognize our fan of the month. So on social media, we're always keeping an eye out to see who's posting about boating and who's tagging us, #MarineMax. So don't forget to do that. And this month, our favorite picture came from Christopher Knoop, one of our band of boaters. So a very great picture. And make sure when you're online and you're boating and taking pictures to make sure to post and tag #MarineMax.com. I think, or MarineMax. And I think it's a saying tag and hashtag just proves that I'm not a 20-year-old, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the technology is advancing quickly, right?
Yes,
But if you want to be a band of boater, if you want to be, the next fan of the month, just kind of post a lot of stuff, anything that you're thinking of in terms of the boating world, and check out MarineMax, and we'll post you as fan of the month.
Yeah,
and we'll give you a little bit of swag too while we're at it, right?
Yes, yeah. There's always something fun upstairs sleeve, so
Yep.
make sure to
smiling.
be posting and tagging so she can find you.
Awesome. Well, that just about does it for this week and this month. I shouldn't say this month because we'll be next Friday at 11 a.m. Be sure to tune in to MarineMax from the Helm, where we're going to be talking to Federico Ferrante, president of Azimut Yachts USA, Pompano Yacht Center. One of the most beautiful places in the world, and definitely the most beautiful yacht center in the world.
Yes.
Where we're going to be checking out all the latest things going on with Azimut Yachts. Really excited about that.
Super excited, and make sure to ask your questions now so you can make sure that they're first in line to get answered.
Cool. All right.
Well, thanks everyone for joining.
Happy New Year. We'll
Happy
see you
New
soon.
Year.